You know how they do. Lights, camera, action. Yo, welcome to Home Base Presents, man. Interview here with the great, the legend himself, the myth.
Oh, don't do me like
Man,
that.
they tell stories about this nigga at night, bro. Like he's out here. You open up the books and you tell your kids to be like this guy.
Oh, man, what an intro, dog.
The greatest rapper alive. Where my camera? Listen to me, Nick. Listen to me, man.
Talk
Listen
nice.
to me.
Talk
Hey,
nice to me, dog.
Hey, I know niggas. That nigga Jay is tripping. Nah, this is the greatest rapper, living or dead.
I appreciate that, man.
Ali Baaba.
You got to put the applause in right there.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate that. What's up?
Oh man, what's good, man? Yeah. So, just released album, newly released. Akira.
November 5th.
November.
November 5th when it was
Yeah.
released. Election Day.
You know what? What was crazy? Why election day? Why?
What's so crazy about that shit, is it was more so I really didn't want that shit to get done, but my goal was to have it done way before the election type shit because the album has a lot to do with literally everything that happened in 2020 type shit. So that was a big thing for me, was kind of the scaredness and the nerves of it, to just be like, let me finish this before then, because that day is very pivotal to see how shit was gonna play out going forward.
Right.
And the way the universe worked, bruh, the album didn't get done till like the week before, and I was like, damn, maybe it was always meant to be for this to come out on this day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just how it happened. It wasn't planned, for sure, but
it couldn't have been more perfect.
no, it was perfect. It was everybody that night, I think, was in the mind state of everybody. It didn't matter who was playing or what was going on. Everybody was focused on
The world ended.
how this was gonna play out.
Yeah.
100%.
No, I mean,
so it set my album up. You're right. It couldn't been a better day.
Yeah.
100%. I agree.
Why Akira? Why Akira?
I kind of always had the idea for Akira, bro. Like I kind of always wanted to, but more so, I guess it's the movie, like based on the actual film.
No phones on set, sir.
Yeah, based on. Hold on. I might have to. Oh man, should I answer this or not?
I mean, no.
No.
The great Ali.
My bad.
Hey,
but,
such a good nigga that even in the interview, he's willing to take the phone
that
call.
was an important call, but they can wait. But shit, Akira was a movie, bro, that came out in the 80s, an anime movie. It's like one of the highest selling anime movies of all time, critically acclaimed.
Right.
And it takes place about in the 80s, but it takes place, the time period of the movie is in 2019 going into 2020 in Japan, Neo Tokyo. And it's literally about the world ending, just different circumstances. And so I kind of wanted to play with that after kind of seeing how the world was kind of going in the time period it was talking about, like 40 years ago, 20 years ago. But so I kind of wanted to just take that concept and kind of just give them my urban look at it with everything going on kind of from my point of view in America instead of being in Neo Tokyo. You know what I'm saying?
That's like really cool. Like I'm still trying to figure out like how did you come to that point where you knew that you wanted to clash these two worlds together?
I think it's just a thing I do. Like whenever I make an album or a project, it's more so about the challenge for me. Is going in there and being like, what can I do that I necessarily didn't do before, or what can I do better, and how can I challenge myself? So it was more so a big thing with me is usually finding two threads with an album or a project, and then figuring out how can I fuse both worlds and make it make sense when if you pull them apart, they have nothing in common at all.
Right.
And so I think that's just a thing with me. Like it's always twos. It's always using these two themes and fusing them together to make something crazy. And so I don't know how. Some of it was premeditated, and some of it was just more so seeing the connections when nobody else sees them.
Yeah.
And then exploiting it, type shit.
And I know that was when I was first introduced to your music. I know the anime references is what I had kind of related to that. It's like when I noticed there was something deeper there, that you take these anime references and you make them relatable to any kid in the hood or anyone going through any type of struggle or desperation. And
Nah, for real, 100%. Like, first of all, I appreciate that, but like, it's really having a love for anime, but
mm,
also seeing how certain people over the years have kind of like used it in their own little way, or not even used it, but like had their little references or whatever to it, and I
yeah,
just felt like it's a whole culture that nobody's really tapped into for
mm,
real to really like not again exploit it to like really bring it full blown to you and use references that is more clever than the basics and the everyday ones that people say. So
yeah,
it's just a love for the culture of anime and just Japanese anything they have overseas over I love. So
yeah,
it was more so just being like, okay, let me make my own little genre. You know what I'm saying? And then 20 years from now, they'll be like, okay, well, that's the kid who did what he did with that. And there'll be
yeah.
35 other Alibabas by then trying to do what I kind of have built the grounds on. For
Create your
real.
own genre, man. That's
Nah, 100%.
not many people can say that.
Nah, nah,
You know
nah,
what I mean?
nah. So that was kind of the go type shit. Always was like trying to fuse things that necessarily didn't make sense and then
Mm,
executing it perfect. I feel like execution, you can use any concepts or any ideas, but can you execute it? And so like with me, it's more so like I know I can do it, but can I pull it off?
yeah,
And I don't with music. I'm more for the challenge than more so everything else. So it's more so like challenging myself than going in there. You feel me? And really doing it and doing it right. That's my high from the situation.
yeah, yeah,
That's what I get from it.
yeah. Was it a hard thing to do when you decided to class these worlds together, like structurally, like on paper, getting those lyrics out and making the songs come together in that way? Was that hard to do?
With Akira,
Yeah, with Akira.
yes, extremely.
Mm,
I think Akira was my biggest challenge so far.
yeah,
And when it come to like explaining to somebody what I'm about to do, and then them being like, "How are you about to go do it though?" You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So it was kind of like it was hard. But when it come to structuring the songs, I went to Atlanta first, and well, COVID started, and we kind of had like a strong little 4 songs that I felt comfortable with.
Right.
But I think when I came back, when I got with you and we locked in, I think it was more so it was like, okay, how can I like, how can I take what I got that I like,
Right.
and then how can I add on to what it is to kind of get it to where I want. It might not make sense to a lot of people, but like it's basically being like let me craft this the right way and figure out the ins and outs of it. But it was extremely hard. It took a lot of research. It took a lot of research, but I think the hardest thing about this one specifically was like with the anime stuff. I'll be honest, it's like second nature now. I
Yeah.
think I've I think I've gotten a good place in my head to where like if I be like, all right, I'm about to make this whole rap about Vegeta, and I'm gonna
Hmm.
make it about Vegeta's whole come up from meeting them on Earth to whatever. I feel like I can do that, and it
Right.
wouldn't hurt. Like I can do that right now. I feel like I'm very comfortable with that. But with Akira, I kind of wanted to stretch my boundaries and be like with this world stuff and everything going on,
Hmm.
keep it oriented in anime. But that's why I picked Akira because I kind of wanted one. I wanted to pick an anime that more so generated a lot around the world, where it's not just an anime show or anime movie. It
Hmm.
had a lot of substance to it, where I can kind of do what I want with it. And so, like,
Because of like how it's so relevant to today.
exactly, yeah. So with it being so relevant for today, that was the hard. It wasn't the hard part, but that was the challenge. Was more so being like, okay, well, how can I make these songs to pull off the story I'm trying to tell?
Right.
That was hard. That was extreme. That was extremely hard. It was testing my pen that I've never tested, like at the capacity that I did with this. It was just amazing, bro. Like